Good morning, Pelham Road. If it didn't violate copyright law, with the sun this morning coming in as bright as it is, I think we should be singing the Beatles, Here Comes the Sun. But I'm afraid we'd be violating something there, so we won't do that. But today is Thursday. Happy Thursday to you. This is the first announcement this week for this, and the only announcement really you're going to get. You know, the Greer Food Bank is in need of some help. And as you might know and probably can imagine, that the food banks are really getting pushed during this season. And so on Monday, we're going to have a drive-by food drive at the church. In the circle, you can just drive by, open your trunk up, put your food out, or if you don't want to put your food out and you want us to come and do it, you can just honk your horn and we'll come out and get it. And we're going to load it up and take it Tuesday to Greer Relief. So bring by your canned goods, things that you would like to share with others that need them. Also, keep in mind that protein is something very important to the diet. And folks that are in those situations don't always have meat, but peanut butter is a good protein. And also keep in mind how important fruits and vegetables are to being healthy. So maybe you buy this weekend a bag of oranges. Well, take a few of the oranges out and bring them with you. Always nice to give fresh fruit away. All right? So, churches are different. And while theology often divides us, music actually unites us. The theology of Baptists is different from the theology of Catholics. What the Church of Christ believes is different from what the Church of God believes. Yet if you listen to several churches digitally this past Sunday, you would have heard many of the same songs. Amazing Grace touches us no matter what our theological label. It could be as simple as a vocalist and a piano, or maybe a choir with a band, or maybe even a bagpipe. The style and instruments can change, but the song actually unites. Church music inspires us and unites us. Some hymn writers are professional theologians like Martin Luther, but most are not, which may explain why ministers like me cringe during the singing from the theology. Hymn writers tell us stories, interpret the Bible, and almost always influence the way we think about God and ourselves. Every now and then, I find a line in a hymn that makes me scratch my head. Not because it doesn't make sense or rhyme, but because it's misleading. I usually go along. I don't rock the boat. I just sing it. A favorite Christmas hymn has caused me to scratch my head on more than one occasion. In Away in a Manger, there is a line that any parent with small children has to wonder about. The cattle are lowing, the baby awakes, but little Lord Jesus, no crying he makes. No crying he makes? You must be kidding me. Now, I've known some babies who cried a little, but I have not met the baby who doesn't cry. I mean, being a parent, I am convinced the occupation of the 1-year-old is to cry. That's their job. They punch that clock every day. There is no reason to believe Jesus did not cry, or that Joseph and Mary were spared the blessing of parenthood, of crying. Jesus is divine, and I imagine in the writer's excitement to portray Jesus as divine, he decided the absence of crying would be a good sign. Or maybe the writer uses it because makes rhymes with wakes. For whatever reason, it's an innocent and I suppose harmless way of describing baby Jesus. But the Word made flesh is made out of the same raw material as you and I. And to know that he was tempted like us, to know that he was ridiculed and abandoned, yet he carried on, is comforting. The humanity of Jesus moves us and challenges us. Not to use the flesh we are wrapped in as an excuse for laziness or meanness. Jesus, you'll remember, cried on the cross in agony. Jesus cried when he saw people living as a sheep without shepherd. I imagine he even cried when the cattle woke him up, looking for their hay and finding instead a baby. He cried because he was human as well. And nothing is wrong with that. You see, to cry is natural. It is the universal language spoken all over the world, and it sounds the same wherever it is spoken. Who knows? I'm betting crying may be the language of heaven. So if you need to cry, you go ahead. God is fluent in the language of tears. Remember the food drive. Have a blessed Thursday.